holding my phone, I actually had to go down onto the beach to be able to get the length to be able to walk through the whole experience. So it's an extremely deep augmented reality experiences that we can build on Snapchat. So there's some local brands doing it right, and I'm going to show you a couple of case studies now from global brands, the first of which is Nike. And one of the things I want you to think about when you think through a kind of a marketer's lens is that augmented reality shouldn't be something that's kind of a cherry on top. You can drive genuine ROI and direct response performance through allowing people to engage with with augmented reality experiences. So I'm going to skip past them.
And Michael is backing all the way to the middle of the backcourt.
Creativity and imagination is the key. Plus, he's got to make the dunk.
To celebrate 30 years since Michael Jordan's iconic free throw line dunk, we created an experience just as iconic. By recreating Michael in 3D, we brought him back to the court. This time in augmented reality for fans around the world. Users could experience all 6'6" of Michael flying through the air, true to his pose on the court in 1988. But this was no ordinary Snapchat AR lens.
The sneaker was released on Snapchat, allowing customers to purchase the shoe on the app.
Same Snapchat lens allowed users to purchase the Air Jordan 3 Tinkers. We partnered with Shopify to power the geofence commerce experience directly in Snapchat. Interacting with MJ, users are prompted to start their purchase. Fans would have the ability to quickly pick their size, add the exclusive sneakers to their bag, and complete their order within seconds. We then leveraged Darkstore for their express last-mile delivery service to get the sneakers direct to fans in under 2 hours. Successfully creating a social commerce experience in augmented reality. The sneaker sold out in 23 minutes. The lens generated 4 times the user engagement in Snapchat, and the world looked at e-commerce in a whole new way.
So there's a couple of reasons why I love that case study. Firstly, I'm a sneaker obsessive, so I love being able to talk about sneakers on stage. Secondly, I think it gives an insight into how something which seems like it's entirely futuristic, the idea of using augmented reality, can drive like bottom-of-the-line results and sell product. I'm going to share one more case study with you, and then I'll be pretty much done. Just by a show of hands, does anyone watch the show Game of Thrones? Or has watched the Game of Thrones? Good, good, good. Lots of hands at the back. Good, good. So I'm going to share this with you now.
Okay, so come to our watch party tonight at 8:30.
But only if you RSVP.
Only if you RSVP.
Because I will chop off your hands.
Yeah. Bye.
What are you doing? Oh my God. I'm one of them too. We are the walkers. We are the Night Kings now. Flip it, flip it. Get him.
Oh my God.
That's kind of incredible.
Look at all that. I mean,
Game of Thrones got me like, what the King of the North!
Cool. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. So I'm going to leave you with three things. As I said at the start, the way we are communicating with each other has fundamentally changed. We used to talk with text, we now talk with pictures. Millennials are the people that are driving that change. As a marketer, they're an audience you cannot ignore. They're your customers of today, they are the parents of tomorrow, and there's a lot of them, particularly in this region. And when you think about augmented reality, this isn't something that exists in the future. This is the way that people are communicating. And you need to understand fundamentally how people are communicating to be able to reach them with your marketing messages. So augmented reality is not simply an impression, it's how someone can play with your brand. So thank you very much for your time. I know I'm a couple of minutes over. My name is Jake Thomas. I'll be at the back for a couple of minutes if you've got any questions. Thank you very much.
We have to get selfie
here.
Okay. Thank you so much for an amazing show.
Shukran.
One more in case.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Gracias. All right. No worries. Thank you very much, guys.
الآن جلستنا الحوارية القادمة عن STC. إذا عندك مشكلة STC طلعوا شيء اسمه STC Solution. فرحبوا معي بسعادة الأستاذ طلال البكر نائب الرئيس STC Solution Cloud Services. أستاذ طلال تفضل. بيج هاند يا شباب. اللي صفق بياخذ شريحة جوال. واكم سام حياك.
كليكر الله يعافيك.
كليكر عفوا.
السلام عليكم. Well, it was a very interesting session about Snapchat. I don't consider myself a millennial, but I'm using Snapchat more and more as days progress. So thank you. So it was very enticing. I especially like the Game of Thrones thing because I think I'm an avid fan. People keep telling me I should read the books, but I wish I had the time. So I'm just waiting for them to get the presentation ready. So how's ArabNet so far? Are you finding it up to expectations? Is it really living up to what you expect, or is it still a progression or a work in progress? Any feedback? Anything? Okay. Okay, good, because the silence was killing everybody, I think. So thank you very much. The presentation I'm going to go into is actually what we're seeing the industry evolving into with regards to marketplaces. So why are marketplaces important? Marketplaces are continuing to change and evolve. And so if we're going to evolution, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about apes. The evolution of what we see today is things changing through the progression of time, through different generations. And as we see the different marketplaces evolve, we're seeing a lot of different changes. So today, the inception of marketplaces actually started with Apple. And it was a shift in the way we analyze and we address applications. Actually, if you look at it and you analyze the whole industry of mobiles, the inception of Apple and their building of a marketplace was very crucial because it ensured that they would win the mobile war in that different phase. If we all remember Nokia and we remember the different phones around that time, Ericsson and so on, they did not progress because their concept about providing applications was not evolved enough. And that's where the idea of marketplaces really evolved. It changed the whole progression about the market and how things would be working. So what we're seeing right now is marketplaces have been here for around 10 years. Apple iPhone has been around for around 11, and we've been accustomed to using them in a specific way. But again, what we're facing right now is a standardization and a sort of commoditization of marketplaces. So marketplaces today have been running in a way that we're very comfortable with, that has been consistent for the last 10 years. What's the evolution? Where do we see things changing? Now, the evolution of marketplaces is an inevitability. It's an inevitability because digital worlds are changing, the way we address applications are changing, and the way people want to consume different applications, different services, is evolving, and it's progressing at an agile rate. And to do that, we have to start thinking of things in a different manner. And also, to do that, we have to start to address the different needs in different ways. So today, this is a basic look at what a marketplace looks like. So you have your ERP systems, you have your different applications, you have your different solutions, and you go and you select whatever you want to address whatever you need. But is it enough? Now, we've had some experience with marketplaces, and what we've found is the concept of a marketplace that was innovated 10 years ago is no longer viable. We need to take it to the next level. And the industry has been following up on that aspect and also showing us that things need to evolve in a different way. So what's the new era for marketplaces today? We need to bring innovative solutions to marketplaces to really open up their capabilities and expand their aspects and their functionality to a different layer. So one of the most important aspects is we need to have applications integrate together. So today, all of us have mobile phones. We have multiple applications. One very important aspect is they don't really integrate together in the right way. You can allow one application to get authentication from another application, but there is no data sharing between applications. What does that mean? That means we have silos of applications within our mobile phone. Wouldn't it be better, instead of having all these different silos, to have them intercommunicate with data and share those information instead of having just authentication access? That's where the evolution is going. So cloud marketplaces are evolving in this way. And they're changing into the aspect of how do we integrate these different applications together so that they're not working in isolated silos, but they're working in collaborative setups. Now, to do that, there's an evolution of marketplaces to be e-marketplaces, a place where you don't just go and you procure an application, but you utilize this application to do multiple things, and you can evolve into that. So the marketplace is no longer a place to work an application. It should be a place where you can buy, you can sell, you can present something, you can request a service, you can follow up on those services, you can get your analytics, you can get your information, and you can get all of these different things. Not only that, the marketplace has to have an ecosystem that allows you to develop all these different applications, all these different solutions that are able to unlock the capabilities of marketplaces in the right way. So you have to have your PaaS layer, or your platform as a service layer, that allows you to integrate with different services so that you can unlock all the potential of marketplaces. One important aspect today that we see that's extremely neglected in marketplaces is the e-commerce, e-procurement functionality. Today, marketplaces are made as a one-way channel where the buyers or the sellers put their products and a buyer goes in and procures the product. It's a single channel kind of interface. What we envision marketplaces as seeing is for them to become omni-channel. People who buy will eventually sell. So today we need to build that ecosystem, and we believe marketplaces are the right place for that evolution. We believe that marketplaces are extremely well positioned to be e-commerce platforms, or what we like to call B2B marketplaces. So today, I go and I buy a service from somebody to build something for me, but eventually I'm building a service to sell it to somebody else. And we have an infinite loop around that. And that's the idea of commerce. That's the idea of retail. And not only that, today in Saudi specifically, we know that the movement of procurement and the movement of industry is pushed through government. So what if we were also able to put the public sector within that criteria? And this is where we see the evolution of marketplaces going. So it's not just individuals buying and selling, it's also companies, organizations buying and selling. And we believe marketplaces are going to evolve and support that. And that's if we were to take an example, today we have I'timad. Who knows I'timad here? I'timad is a marketplace or a platform, if you will, that the Ministry of Finance initiated to support in the procurement process. I'timad is following this concept, be it in a specific kind of level that is only tied to governments, but it's tied to the same conceptual aspect here. Another aspect is logistics. Today, retail, whatever service you have, if you buy something from a shop, if you want to deliver a service to a customer, what we're seeing today is there is a huge need for logistics. So we believe marketplaces need to evolve to also cater for those kind of things. Today, if I'm building a platform where buyers and sellers are there, I need to ensure that whatever goods are requested are being able to be delivered and monitored in the right way. So the evolution of marketplaces to include logistics is of the utmost importance. And we see that evolving. And logistics, of course, requires multiple things. It requires smart assignments, it requires fleet control, it requires package monitoring, all these different things. So today, we need to evolve that. Right now, we have huge entities that are able to drive this on a very niche level. But what if we open that up on a marketplace to multiple organizations? And that's where the vision of marketplace evolution lies. So this is where we're seeing the industry taking marketplaces or the industry forcing marketplaces to go. And we're evolving that. Blue Vault is our SME cloud that we've initiated in STC in cooperation with Munsha'at, the SME authority. The idea of Blue Vault is very simple. It's a one-stop shop that enables local developers who have applications or who develop services to communicate with local consumers. So today, we are targeting the SME market to develop applications on Blue Vault and to consume it on Blue Vault. That's our initial vision. Following what I just mentioned about the evolution of marketplaces, we're evolving as well. We're trying to change all of that. Initially, we had a place where you go and you procure an application, similar to the Apple iTunes Store, similar to Google Play. This is what we had. And it was running very well, and it was doing things in the right way. But we noticed we had a gap, and we noticed that we had to evolve, and that's why the vision of the industry was forcing us to also adapt in our marketplace to address things in a different way. So what were we trying to do initially? We were trying to localize the data using data sovereignty. We were building applications that were niche to Saudi Arabia and to the requirements of the Saudi industry. And that's how we progressed. We've done amazingly well. The team has grown the business extremely well, and we continue to evolve it. But we were missing out on a lot of things. So today, we're missing out on involving all the e-procurement aspects, the e-purchasing aspects, the e-commerce aspects. And that's what ties us to the plan of 2019. Today, in 2019, on Blue Vault, we're running already the marketplace in its inception and the way it runs today, but we're evolving it to add e-procurement, which we hope to launch in the Q1 2019, and e-logistics, where we hope to launch that in H2 2019. Why? Because we believe everything requires these services. What's more important than that, we're building an API economy. So today, our applications are going to interconnect and intercommunicate together. So we don't have silos anymore. We don't have application A running in isolation of application B. I'll share some insights about what we faced and what normal marketplaces face today. You go on to any marketplace, be it ours or be it somebody else's, and you buy an HR software. Great, that HR software is doing its job, it's wonderful. But I need to manage my finances when I pay people their salaries. So great, we had another software that had finance, accounting. Our problem was For us to use these different softwares, we had to export data and import data. A light came up in our heads, and we said, okay, this is not going to work. It might work on 2, 3 small entities, but this is not the way an organization wants to streamline their business or transform their business. That's where the idea of building an API economy for these different applications, where they can intercommunicate, came into play. And that's where something we're working on, launching hopefully in Q2 2019. So today, what we're evolving with our marketplace, we're actually bringing in a lot of local players. We're getting a lot of local developers, and we're working on addressing specific needs of the industry. So today we have some of these companies that are local companies that have developed different applications within Saudi for Saudi entities. Some of these companies have started off with us on a small scale, and they've grown to multi-million-dollar companies. One of them is actually has reached around $40 million, 40 million riyals. So we're enabling these entities to really address their market through our initiatives within Blue Vault. And we have a lot of different plethora of different applications that we continue to add to every day. Today we have these are some of the applications we have in our marketplace, and we continue to add multiple partners to provide localized solutions as we progress. Now, what's very important is a lot of these partners will work with us in 2019 to do the API integration, so that we can go and we can have these different applications. If you see, I have an HR system here. Today, it talks to itself. Tomorrow, we hope that the HR system will talk to the procurement system, will update the finance system, the accounting system will also be updated, the inventory system will be updated as per request when you have a new employee with new requirements, and so on, and everything sort of works together. Is it ambitious? Yes, but is it needed? Extremely, because working in isolation is not going to work anymore, and that's where we need to really evolve that. Now, one important aspect today is the e-commerce platform. We are working right now on an initiative, and we are working on this initiative for e-procurement to be done on our marketplace, full procurement. STC has an initiative that 15% of all of its procurement has to be from SMEs. Our e-marketplace and e-procurement concept within it is going to be a driver for SME procurement. Why? We have our anchor customer. STC will be connected here. So any entity that wants to sell to STC will be onboarded into this to streamline the purchasing process with STC, and STC can purchase from it, and it can purchase from STC specific things from it. So we're working on that. This is our anchor tenant or our anchor customer that's going to drive the e-procurement push through our e-marketplace. In addition to that, we have initiatives to integrate with I'timad. We are still, we hope that they can win into our vision and have one centralized e-procurement setup. Our plans are extremely ambitious around that. One important aspect also is bundling. So today, we have all these different applications, and we noticed that we need to build an aspect around bundling. So we're going to be bundling a lot of these different solutions. One important aspect to notice here, some things are international player-based. Some things are local player-based. Our push and our drive is to have everything based on local application developers. We have international application developers right now for one specific reason. And that's because we don't have a solution in that niche area. Once we have a local player who is able to meet the criteria, we have no problem to replace that international player with a local player. Why? Because our push and the whole idea behind Blue Vault is not financial. It's enabling the industry of application development and application consumption within Saudi. So our goal is more than just financial. Our goal is to really enrich this ecosystem and community. Finally, one important aspect that I touched upon is the PaaS. Today, we have a platform as a service for developers to develop on our marketplace. Now, we have a lot of players within the industry, locally and globally. What we're changing within our paths, and why are we making it unique? We're adding features for Saudi specific in our paths as part of our e-services initiative. Today, anybody who has an application, if I'm going to develop an HR application, I need to integrate with Hadaf, HRDF. I need to, if I had a finance system, I need to integrate with the General Authority for Zakah and Tax. Now, to do the integration part is extremely cumbersome. What we're going to be doing, and we're already launching this initiative, we're going to be building e-services to streamline the development and consume these services, and they can streamline their application development as quickly as possible. In the future, if they believe they have the next unicorn, they can go and create whatever agreements they want with whatever entity. But our idea is to help them launch as quickly as possible by pre-building these e-services. And that's our idea about our vision of what's happening with e-marketplaces and how we see the evolution of marketplaces. I hope that you see this vision as something that's going to really impact the industry and the country in the right way. We are always open to any suggestions. If you have any questions, I'll be available on the side. I thank you for your time and hope you have a good day.
شكرا جزيلا الأخ طلال من STC Solution. الجلسة القادمة خاصة بالنواعم بالنساء. طبعا جلستنا راح تكون بعنوان التوجه إلى جمهور السيارات النسائي في المملكة العربية السعودية مع انفتي في الشرق الأوسط. سؤال للأخوات اللي هنا، من اللي عنده رخصة قيادة؟ ما في أحد؟ لو واحد خلاص في واحدة عندنا. Anyway, please welcome with me Mr. Karsten Jawnski, المدير العام للعلاقات العامة والتسويق في انفتي الشرق الأوسط. Welcome Mr. Jawnski. Welcome with us, please.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here today. No. That's better. So my pleasure to be here today, and my pleasure to give you an update on women driving and how it has been communicated over the last 1.5 or 15 months in Saudi Arabia, and to give you a perspective how we as Infinity Middle East communicated women driving in Saudi Arabia as well. So women driving is actually since 26th of September last year, it is announced that this will be in place from the 24th of June this year. And this obviously, looking into the economy, was supposed to be a big shift in economy, and there is a huge opportunity. There's a potential of 9 million drivers, including 2.7 million expert women in Saudi Arabia, a big opportunity. And when you look into the penetration of cars, that element would increase the penetration of cars in Saudi Arabia massively, and would kind of, as an assumption, in the next couple of years, close the gap to UAE in terms of penetration of cars on the street. And that, of course, is an element which all car manufacturers took as an opportunity to communicate to this audience in Saudi Arabia. And for Infinity, as one of the brands who are present in Saudi Arabia, we had obviously our own specific challenges which we took on board for women driving in Saudi Arabia. We were not, honestly, to be considered too much of luxurious in a female audience. This was an angle which we took on board, and we were perceived as a brand which has rather smaller cars, not bigger cars. So that was kind of a specific challenges for the Infinity brand, and we took this on board in order to combine both the communication of women driving in Saudi Arabia and how to communicate Infinity brand in Saudi Arabia in parallel. But first, let's look into what happened exactly on that day when the announcement was open that women are supposed to have a driving license in Saudi Arabia. There were actually 2 brands or 3 brands who immediately jumped on it. It was Nissan with an announcement like this, a number plate, and they made out of the number plate girl. That was the first announcement exactly on that day of the announcement of women are allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia. There is a second one, which is Ford. They also jumped on that, actually only 1 day later. It's a mirror, and they mirrored into the mirror the eyes of a woman. After that, let's say a bit of a while afterwards, a couple of brands started with bigger campaigns. One of those is Ford. Ford ran a campaign which was a very emotional social media campaign. It is all about with you in front, playing with an Arab term. And they run this on social media in May this year. So it took this brand around 6 months between the announcement to come up with the first social media campaign. I want to show you the video.
I almost stepped aside, dancing with doubt, waiting for what's finally here. Where to next? All eyes on me. Through mine, the path is clear. I stand in front. I'm not alone. My sister's strong beside me. I take it in, an unstoppable force, and honor its place within me. My dreams have traveled to the moon and back. On promising new roads, they flow. I'm on the move. My life is set. My goal? To simply go. Always looking ahead. I drive in front.
So Ford took an angle to have a very, let's say, emotional perspective on things, but at the same time they used a wording which is emotional, but it's still not personal. So it has still an element of advertising in the way they're presenting this commercial. A bit in the same direction went Audi, which was, in my perspective, even more a commercialized approach. This was launched exactly on that day when women are allowed to drive, and it was playing between a couple on the way from their home to the car, and how in the end the woman went on the driver's seat that day. I show you the video. The angle of Audi was obviously very much a commercial. This is really a 30-second or 60-second commercial, which you would see on TV, but none of both brands actually went into what is the story behind. There was one brand who started being more into what is the story behind, and this was Nissan. Nissan went into, so how is this, why are women hesitant to drive, what is the perceived perception, and they created an activation in Saudi Arabia to overcome the hesitation.
أنا أحس إن البنت تقدر تعتمد على نفسها أكثر وتقدر تقوي شخصيتها منها. إحنا من زمان منتظرين خبر زي كده.
عاشت من يوم ما اتولدت المرأة ما كانت تسوق في السعودية.
كانت ردة فعل بابا أول شيء كان مرة رفضه وكان رافض هذا القرار.
كان شوية متحفظ لأنه نحن عشنا عيشة البنت ما تقدر تسوق.
طبعا صاروا يسخروا انه كيف المرأة حتسوق ونكت كثيرة وانه حتخش في رصيف وما ادري ايش عندهم ده كلام.
أنا من الناس اللي حستنى يعني حشوف اكسبيرينس الناس اللي قبلي.
حستنى وقت طويل على ما أسوق.
تفضلي. عندك الأوراق هنا فيها إرشادات المرورية لو تحبي تراجعيها لين يجي مدرب السواقة.
السلام
وعليكم السلام. هلا وعليكم السلام.
يا زلمة
ما تحلمني. ايوه ايش احساسك وانت هاتف معي؟
الحمد لله.
والله جدا متوترة.
والله اني فنانة. قول بنتي فنانة.
بس خلاص بس الحين بنت عارفين بعد كده.
خلاص.
كان عندي رهبة انه كيف اسوق، اول مرة اسوق، بس لما حسيت انه بابا جنبي حسيت انه لا في امان وراحة يعني.
ساعدني اخوي انه جاء عشان يدعمني يساعدني.
لو هو معاي كان أنا ما أعرف الراحة.
لكل واحدة يعني مترددة انصحها اول حاجة تطلع الرخصة.
باذن الله حسمح لها بحصول على قياده الرخصه وكلها داعم.
هذا الموضوع حيصبح في يوم من الايام هيستوري.
طبعا القرار ليها في الاخر، تبى تسوق ما تبى تسوق.
So, as you can see, it's a different angle than what we saw from Ford or from Audi. This was an angle where it makes somehow sense, as it took in consideration the specific situation in Saudi, and they created this kind of activation where family members told the female drivers how to drive, which creates an emotional situation. And to sum up what we saw so far, there were various strategies to launch women driving. There were some of those who announced exactly at the day saying, welcome female drivers to the driver world. There were brands who were playing this more in an advertising way, or there were brands like Nissan who created an activation, went a bit deeper into the story. For us at Infinity Middle East, when we started this, we say we need to find a different angle. For us, the question was, I mean, we can do advertisement, but advertisement at that stage is not the right approach. We wanted to find a branded entertainment approach which speaks and develops the story behind the story. So what is the story of a woman, one woman specifically, who is driving the first time in Saudi Arabia? So bring it to life how she feels, what it is for her. And the story, how we developed it, we found a young woman living in Dubai, coming from Saudi. He is for a couple of years in Dubai, has a driving license in Dubai already, and we invited her with one of our new products, the QX50 mid-size SUV, to drive with the QX50 back to her hometown. And it was her together with her brother. We put both in the car, and they were chatting all the way from Dubai to Riyadh, let's say 6.5, 7 hours on the road, about how it is, how she feels, what it is for her, how it is so specific for her, so special for her to drive from Dubai to the hometown. And I think the best is I show you the video. But before I do, a quick note on the media strategy. The same what we saw about branded entertainment, saying it is not only advertising, but let's make a story. Let's actually make a movie, a short movie out of this, and communicate a short movie, was mirrored in the media strategy. We had a media strategy which is very different, very unique. We were booking entire commercial breaks. So 3-minute commercial breaks, only one spot. And we did run the same on cinema, 3 minutes, one commercial. Obviously, from a pure media point of view, the reach you're achieving with that is rather limited, as you only have a limited amount of people in front of a TV or in the cinema while you are paying for the entire commercial break. But the impact is much bigger for this one, as if you see a movie in a 3-minute length in a commercial break, that creates an impact. I show you the video.
حاتم مستعد للطريق؟
أنا أقدر أقول عن نفسي يعني إنسانة صبورة جدا وطموحة جدا. أحب إني أنا أخوض التجارب وأحب إني أنا أتحدى نفسي.
رايحة من الإمارات للسعودية لأمك. يلا إيش الشعور هذه؟ مبسوطة؟
لحد الحين زي كأنه حلم.
أنا وياه مش مجرد أخوة، إحنا أصدقاء. معاي بمراحل كثيرة من لما أنا كنت صغيرة، وكيف كان يعني يحامي علي إن أخوي ياخذ معي هذا التريب ويكون هو معاي all the way من البداية إلين ما أوصل بيتنا. حاجة يعني هي اللي توجت الرحلة هذه كلها بالنسبة لي.
إذا كان بابا موجود وجنبي ويتذكر كيف هو اللي علمني أصلاً، فلما يكون كذا جنبي هو في رحلة زي هذه طبعاً يفرق معي يعني.
10 دقائق.
أحس كذا متوترة وقلبي يرجف وفيني كذا طاقة وأبغى أوصل، أبغى أشوف بعد الحدود.
تبين السوق عندك؟
لا أنا اللي بسوق. 4 سنين صار لي أسوق، بس أحس بعد الحدود هذه تكتب سنة جديدة.
فرحة مو طبيعية. عديت الحدود، يعني أدخل بلادي السعودية وأتفرج على مناظرها وأوقف على محطات، يعني محطات كانت في حياتي. من أول ما كنا ناخذ هذا الطريق مع بابا وبعدين صرنا ناخذه مع أخوي يسوق فينا، أنا بديت هذه المغامرة. أنا أبغى أنهيها، أبغى أحس فيه بكل لحظة، بتعبه، بحلوه، بمره، براحته، الطريق بلفاته، بكل حاجة في الطريق أبغى أحس فيها بنفسي.
ألو فاطمة، ماما في؟ طيب كلام ماما في ضيف برا.
ماما أهلين، شو إحساسك؟
السلام عليكم.
زين؟ أنت الحمد لله. الحمد لله على السلامة.
Yeah, so see, it's a very different approach. This is not advertising anymore at all. So we moved away from advertising. We moved even stepped ahead of an activation, branded entertainment as we saw it with Nissa, and we moved to the layer of creating a movie, creating an own movie, a short form movie, and airing a short form movie. This was, for us, the first time to do it, but I feel more and more this is the right approach. In the cluttered environment of media, with so many advertising around, you need to come up with a story which lasts for longer, which has more depth, and that's the approach we took here. And it fits very well to Infinity. So when we thought about doing this kind of movie approach, we said, does it fit to Infinity? Infinity is all about luxury should be lived, and so making the brand an enabler for an experience, not only a precise traditional status symbol, but luxury as a way to experience it, to sit in this luxurious car and to drive it and experience your life in the car. So in that way, to set her on the road trip, to Hamza on the road trip, to let her drive from Dubai to Riyadh made a lot of sense, as this is exactly luxury should be lived in the way we are defining it. And it is, in a way, an enabler, as with the QX50, we enabled her to experience this story, to create this movie approach. And it fits very much to how we as a brand, as a challenger brand in the premium automotive, see ourselves as human, daring and forward, having a human story, being daring in the way we are communicating, finding new angles, and be forward in the way we are thinking. So it fit everything very well together, and we were actually very happy with this approach. And the things what I think you should take out of it is that looking into advertisement and how it developed over the last year with a more and more cluttered environment, with more and more advertising, fragmentation, with more targeted digital short-form videos, I think it's a time to step back and do the opposite, not to go into short-form 6-second videos on YouTube. Maybe it is still an angle, but not only doing that, but having another angle, looking into what else can we do, what else kind of an element of entertaining the audience makes sense to stack out of the mass. And that's for me the main message I want to send you, that for a brand like Infinity, this kind of stepping out, doing something new and different from what others are doing was most important for us in this case, and I feel it was one of the elements to make Women Driving for Infinity so successful as it was as a campaign. So thank you so much. If you have any question, I'll be around for a while. Most welcome that we talk about this one. Thank you so much and have a good thank you.
دانكشن مستر جاونسكي. بإذن الله تعالى دانكشن يعني بالألماني، هو شخص ألماني بالألماني يعني شكرا. ناخذ إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى بريك لمدة نص ساعة، وبعد البريك بإذن الله تعالى عندنا شركة سماعات راح يكونون ضيوفنا في عرب نت بحول الله وقوته، ففرصة بهالبريك هذا نتقهوى ونصلي العصر، وأيضا نتواصل مع بعض ويكون في تبادل البزنس كارد. خذ راحتكم.